Okay, now we'll take roll.
Okay, Commissioner Heinrich.
Here.
Commissioner Brassad.
Here.
Commissioner Reinert.
Here.
Commissioner Schulte.
Here.
Commissioner Jepson.
Here.
Commissioner Meisner.
Here.
Okay, next we'll consider accepting the regular claims paid over $500 and purchase card claims paid for the period ending May 16th, 2025. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Excuse me.
Roll call. Opposed? Oh,
Roll call.
oh, right.
Okay. Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich.
Aye. All right, thank you. That moves. Next, we'll approve minutes from May 13th, 2025. I'll make that motion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Need a second, Mr. Chair.
Oh,
I'll second it.
second? All right. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And that motion carries. Next, we'll go to chair's remarks. We just have one item before us today. This item is an annual report from the Midwest Medical Examiner's Office. Based in Ramsey, Minnesota, the MMEO is one of 4 major medical examiners in Minnesota. The office conducts death investigations, performs post-mortem examinations, and provides education and consultations to the numerous counties it serves. I think we're around 40 right now. The MMEO provides scientific, consistent, and compassionate investigation into the circumstances of death, which results in the workload of thousands of cases per year, usually many hundreds of which require autopsies. The office's forensic pathologists are always busy, as are the dozens of field investigators, in-office investigators, and office staff. I'd like to welcome Dr. Quinn Piper, the MMEO's medical examiner since 2009, to say a few words and to share stats for Anoka County. Thank you for being here.
Thanks. Good morning, everyone. It's good to see everybody. You gave us our wonderful introduction, so I will skip our first couple slides and get right into it. Feel free to interject with any questions, or obviously I will take some at the end. So as mentioned, we are quite a busy office. This slide is for Anoka County specifically. And so a total of 1,850 deaths were reported to the medical examiner of the total, almost 2,500 total deaths in Anoka County. Of those, we performed 346 autopsies. For reference, our office investigated had over 10,000 deaths reported to us from all of our jurisdictions and partners, and then we performed almost 1,300 autopsies last year. That does not include the 17 cases where we facilitated tissue donation. We were here recently talking about the brain donations that we facilitate for research, and so we had 17 such donation cases that we did last year. For getting into the meat of the matter, the manner of death, so how the circumstances under which the citizens of Anoka County died last year. We had a peak in homicide last year, unfortunately. I think it's the most I've seen since I've been the medical examiner. There were 155 deaths classified as accident, 131 natural, that we had to assume jurisdiction, obviously. 47 suicide, and 2 were classified as undetermined. Looking at the 5-year comparison, you can see again, for homicides, there's that odd number 6 that we hovered around, and then we had 11, unfortunately, last year. Accidents had their peak in 2022, mainly due to drug overdoses. There were a lot of those in 21 and 22. You can see that's gone down a bit. The suicide rate seems fairly steady overall. For deaths related to gunshot wounds, of the 11 homicides, 8 were due to gunshot wounds. The most common manner of death for gunshot wounds, however, is suicide. For our overall accident subclassification, Blunt force injuries is the peak. A lot of those deaths are in the elderly population and due to falls from ground height. We will talk a little bit more about our drug deaths, but I think one of the most sad and powerful statistics on this slide is that 4 infants died due to deaths associated with unsafe sleep. So either co-sleeping with multiple people on an adult bed or being put into a situation that was not safe for sleep. So the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends never bed share. They do recommend that if you have an infant in your room to have them in their own bassinet, but to never take an infant to bed with you because this can happen. For getting to the accidents, there's a little good news here. There have been, a consistent decline in motor vehicle fatalities, and again, this would be if the person actually died in Anoka County. If they're transported out of Anoka County and pass away at a medical center like Hennepin or North Memorial, they would not be included in these statistics. But you can see here that drug overdoses have greatly declined since, again, their peak in 2021. And we're seeing that in most of, not all, but most of our counties of jurisdiction is that the drug overdoses have gone down. Of the drug overdoses, however, in Anoka County anyway, fentanyl was the most frequent cause. This overview here is actually any time one of these substances were detected, whether it was the cause of death or related. For example, we see methamphetamine in motor vehicle crashes, which I don't think is surprising. Cocaine is coming back. When I first started many years ago, we would see cocaine and then it kind of went away, but I recall did not see it very often, and now this is, it's coming back. Heroin, you can see there's barely any heroin cases. They've all been mostly replaced with fentanyl. Xylazine had been in the news about as an adulterant of fentanyl. It's a veterinary sedative that does not respond to Narcan because it is not an opioid. These 2 other substances that we see, bromazolam, is a synthetic or novel psychoactive benzodiazepine that is not available for prescription in any country anywhere. So it's totally a synthetic substance. And then metragenine, otherwise known as kratom, you probably see that on the doors of all of the CBD and such. It is a legal substance. However, it is not necessarily a safe substance as it has opioid and stimulant properties. And our office is contracted with one of the best forensic toxicology laboratories in the country. And that's how we are able to detect all of these substances that would not be detected on these lower level or non-forensic laboratories, which is why we work with NMS. It's an amazing partnership, and they do research to be able to capture all of these new substances. But that is kind of the highlight of the talk. If anybody has any questions for me.
Any questions, folks? Okay. Well, I want to thank you, Dr. Piper, for taking time out of your morning and coming in and telling us about the importance of the Midwest Medical Examiner's Office. The work of the office is accurate, caring, and professional, and the MMEO is recognized and respected not only in Minnesota, but across the nation. The role you serve in our communities cannot be understated, as the death of loved ones can cause profound stress and emotions. And the MMEO handles these events in a sensitive manner, which helps people when they are grieving. And that's a really big part of what you guys do, and I know you guys do that part of it very, very sensitively and very much with compassion. So thanks for the work that you do. Any commissioner want to mention anything or bring anything up?
I got a comment, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to take an opportunity to thank Shane Sheets and Dr. Quinn Piper for a tour of the Midwest Medical Examiner's Office. What a fantastic facility and operation that you all run there. It certainly takes the right type of people to be in that job. But yeah, I appreciate you bringing me through there and showing me what you guys do. I'm not planning on coming back soon. Thank you, though.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Again, I'm very proud of the work you do at Midwest Medical Examiner's Office. The only problem I have is the word Anoka County is not in the title. You do a lot of really good work. You're mentioned in many articles, and the work you do is mentioned many times as being one of the better medical examiner's office in the country. And it would be wonderful if Anoka County was attached to that name, but I understand.
You know, and to that point too, the reason why it's not is because of their success. They now handle over half of the counties in our state and in Wisconsin and now Michigan. And so it's word of mouth, and the professional way that they handle themselves and the good work that they do, that word is traveling. So I as well wouldn't mind that in the title, but it is the Midwest Medical Examiner's Office. Commissioner Jepson.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for coming. I know I've taken a tour, and I don't want to go back anytime soon either. But just when we're out and about in the community, whether it's our own community or broader, it's a source of pride to talk about you and your department and the respect that you have on, obviously someone's worst day and the family's worst news and in their grief. And I just wholeheartedly thank you and respect both of you and your entire team for the respect that you have, the reverence you have for the job, knowing that it is a job, and so then communicating with the families and taking this data so that we then can also learn from it as well. So thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone, and I will see you next year, but apparently not in the office.
Thank you.
because you're not here.
All right, thank you very much. All right, now we'll move to committees of the whole recommendations, and we'll begin with government operations. We've got a few items there to cover. Let's see where we begin. Information technology, that is Commissioner Gamash's group, but I will take that one. Approval of a new Anoka County information security policy. Do we have any presentation on that, or?
We're anticipating providing a presentation on that. That's
Okay.
the recommendation to the board.
I'll move approval of that.
Second?
Got a motion and a second, and we'll take one vote then at the end. Facilities management consultants, Commissioner Jepson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So there are two items on the consent agenda for approval with facilities management and construction. The first one is contract C00-11568 with Carville Constructors for HVAC, PM repairs and maintenance in the amount of $82,800, which is a 3-year term with an option to renew for 2 additional 1-year terms for a possibility of 5 years. The second item is contract C00-11569 with Egan for HVAC automation controls in the amount of $31,240, again, similar to the contract prior, for a 3-year term with an option to renew for 2 additional 1-year terms for a total of 5 years. I will, if you're okay, I'll just go into the finance. Recommending that the county board increase the imprest or change on hand at the Anoka County Parks from $800 to $1,500. Just lots of people using cash to come into and use our parks, which is a great thing, just needing a little bit more on hand.
Okay, thank you. Next, we'll move into medical examiner's office, and that's mine. This is a contract C00-10565 with, we debated about how to pronounce this, but it is, I think, Gogebic? Gogebic County in Michigan. We're reaching out to Michigan now to appoint Dr. Quinn Piper as Midwest Medical Examiner's Office as their medical examiner's office for okay, gonna have to help me with that one.
Ecological.
Medicological death investigations and autopsy services in the amount of $38,856 with a term from January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2027, and one additional 2-year option. Next, we'll move to library, and that's also mine, resolution number 2025-G006, and this is a resolution accepting donations from patrons. I think I have that list here somewhere. I'd like to give them some credit. Yeah, here it is. So we've got a total of $25,150.49 coming in. And these are coming from donations January through March. Book cart, $1,950.49. Anoka Women of Today, $50. Catherine Slusser and St. Francis Library Branch, $1,000. Helen Urbane, $30. Patricia Gerke, $120. Friends of Anoka County Library, $20,000. That's a good friend. Elaine and Terry Hargrave in memory of Eleanor Deemer, $1,000. And William and Lori Sample in memory of Eleanor Deemer, $450. And then Al and Cindy Butler. And again, that total is $25,150.49. And that completes all of the items for government operations today.
Mr. Chair,
So, yes, sir.
for clarity, my motion was for the package of the consent.
No, okay. And then we had a second on that?
Yes.
All right, so then we're just ready for the roll call.
Okay. Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
All right, that moves. Next, we will go to Human Resources, and we've got a few items there. Commissioner Meisner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Committee of the Whole, Human Resources, we met on May 20th at 8:30 a.m. in this building. First up was there was no public comments in person. I did not receive any via email either, but anyone may do so at mandy.meisner@anokacounty.mn.gov. So on our slate today, we will start off with Resolution 2025-HS9. This is accepting gifts for human services programs. So you can see some of the details, but we are very thankful for all of those that donate for those within human resources. Next up is grant contract C0010866. This is actually an amendment to this contract, and this is with the Minnesota Department of Human Services, in which we are a pass-through for grants to establish for homelessness. So this is for shelter funding in an amount of $2,060,465.32 through June 30th. You can see some of the details there. And our organization that we pass these funds through is Stepping Stone in Anoka County. The next one is also related to this, but this is contract C0011526 and a renewal then with the Stepping Stone Emergency Housing. And this is for the adult services and an amount not to exceed $1,036,872.89. This is from July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. The next is a contract, and this is a new one, C0011566 with Touchstone Mental Health. Their corporate office is in St. Paul, or excuse me, in Minneapolis on Snelling Avenue. However, the facility that will be doing this is located in Fridley on the Unity Hospital campus. This is for psychological rehabilitation community support program. This is the amount not to exceed $1,847,163. This is from June 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2026. I do just want to make note of this particular contract and for this service. Lee Carlson Center was doing this for many, many years, and I do want to give my thanks and recognize for that service. They were not able to hold that contract, and I also want to recognize our human services area. To establish a new contract for an RFP in less than 6 months is a very large feat, and this was done in conjunction with the folks that are getting the services. It was really well done, and so I'm really pleased to see this. Again, this will be starting from June 1st, and my understanding is they just have a few odds and ends to do and welcome the new community members at Touchstone. So Best wishes there. I'm sorry. So I will go ahead and move that slate. Again, that is items 1 through 4.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, the motion and a second. Is there any discussion or questions on any of these items? Okay, hearing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye. And then do you have any comment on the informational items?
Of course, yes, I do always like to share the informational items with the public. So we, on informational item number 5, the committee received a presentation about the Anoka County Opioid Solutions Initiative. And so I do want to just do a couple of touch points about that. This is an initiative that is funded by our pharmaceutical opioid settlement fund allocation. Anoka County got $18 million in total. That is spread out, I believe, in 18 to 20 years. But this is a lot of heavy lifting that went into place. So even though it is a great opportunity, there was a lot of work to get the infrastructure up in place. There is an advisory council. This is comprised of a really great diversity of community partners and is really their work that is making now these things happen. The 2 major updates that was given to us was there was an RFP for, I believe, 7 in total, and this is about prevention, and we are going to be granting about $750,000 this first round. This RFP is for 2 years in total, and also to keep in mind that this is a very fluid thing. So we're gonna get these out. We have 2 years to work and support this work, and then we're gonna see how that particular RFP and grant situation evolves. The next update was naloxone access points. So originally, Anoka County had a total of 5, and access points are available for the public. It's where anyone can go in and get a naloxone, I'm sorry, I was mispronouncing that, naloxone kit. Now, this is specifically for the event of someone that is having a overdose with opioids, and it basically mitigates that. We now have up to 20, but the first launch was through all 8 of our county libraries. So I do want to thank the county libraries for that. They are located in our lobbies. This is a no questions asked type of situation, and we hope to increase that access points as time goes on. The next informational item for number 6, we received information, so we didn't have to vote on this or anything, but this was for a new contract with Alpha Emergence Behavioral Health. This was a service that has already been going on for some time, and then this is just a new service agreement. So with that, that concludes my report. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that presentation, Commissioner Meisner. And now we'll move to our next Committee of the Whole recommendation presentation here, which is public safety. Commissioner Brassad.
Thank you. The Public Safety Committee met on May 13th. We have 3 items under the consent agenda. The first is Resolution 2025 PS09, accepting dedicated donation from the Anoka County Crime Prevention Coalition. This is a $1,600 donation that is going to be used for unbudgeted improvements to the workout facilities at the jail and the sheriff's office campus. The second item is contract C0011541. This is the 2025 State of Minnesota Annual County Boat and Water Safety Grant Agreement in an amount not to exceed $28,519 for a term of January 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. And that is a grant that we get on a regular basis, and it just helps our sheriff's office to really improve the safety on our lakes in Anoka County. And the last item is contract C0011573 with Invictus Apps, Inc., doing business as Prepared. This is for technology services in our 911 center. for a term of July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2030, and an amount not to exceed $1,422,035. And this will be paid by the 911 funds that we have. The difference with this contract is we are going out for a 5-year term, which overall is going to save the county over $200,000. And I'll move those, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion or questions on any of these three items? Okay, hearing none, it is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte. Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye. Thank you. And does that conclude then your report?
It does.
Okay, thank you for that. Next, we'll move to transportation and Commissioner Jepson.
Thank you. Yes, the Transportation Committee met on May 20th at 1 p.m. at the Transportation Division Facility. All committee members were present except for, Commissioner Gamache. I only have one item on the consent agenda, and that is for approving contract C001067, which is a joint powers agreement with the city of Fridley for the construction of a roundabout at the intersection of Mississippi Street and 7th Street Northeast in the city of Fridley. And I will move that.
All right, thank you. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion or questions on this item? All right, hearing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
All right, that motion carries. And any comments on the informational items?
Yeah, so a number of conversations we had regarding some additional road projects. I just want to highlight two. There is going to be reconstruction of Lexington Avenue in the cities of Columbus, East Bethel, and Ham Lake from on Lexington between Broadway Avenue and 185th Avenue. So there's 3 separate contracts that we have to create with those 3 different cities because the project overlaps in those 3 cities. The final thing I wanted to mention is that we had a presentation regarding our county road safety plan update and our associated Safe Street and Roads for All plan completion. And to me, that's a really exciting plan to have completed because it does, pun intended, give us a roadmap on all the different projects and priorities and provides opportunities for how to improve upon making our roads safe for all to travel. So it's a very comprehensive plan, and I look forward to implementing a lot of the projects that we're in.
Okay, thank you. Does that complete your report then?
It does, thank you.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Jepson. All right, that completes our presentations on Committee of the Whole. Now we'll move to the next item, and the next item is a public hearing, and I'll turn this part of the meeting over to our County Attorney, Brad Johnson.
Thank you, Commissioner Reinert, members of the County Board. I will now open the public hearing portion of the meeting. The time is 9:59. I ask that the minutes reflect that the notice of this public hearing was published in the Anoka County Union according to statute to inform the public that a hearing would occur during the regular meeting of the Anoka County Board of Commissioners on today's date, May 27, 2025, to receive public testimony on the Anoka County user fees as set forth in the published notice of public hearing. Before we receive any public testimony, Corey Kampf will give the board an overview of the county fees, and then I'll ask him to turn the topic back to me for the hearing. Mr. Kampf?
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Good morning, board. My name is Corey Kampf. I am the Chief Financial Officer for Anoka County. Today before you, we have a public hearing on fees. Normally, we do fees once a year in December to increase them. However, this time we have special. We have a new fee coming on board related to licenses around the cannabis legislation that has been passed by the state of Minnesota. These fees are related to businesses beginning this summer are able to apply for a variety of licenses, and so the fees listed here will allow the Public Health and Environmental Services Department to properly charge and, basically issue these licenses in accordance with state statutes. So this is all built in with the current statute as it reads. 2 a day. So our ask is that you hold a public hearing and consider adopting these fees and adding them to our fees.
Thank you, Mr. Camp. We'll now begin the live public testimony portion of the hearing, and the purpose of this part of the public hearing is to receive any public testimony on these new county fees. Just a quick question to Mr. Camp. Did we receive any written comments or messages submitted prior to the meeting?
No, we did not.
All right, thank you. If there are any members of the public who wish to provide comments, now is your opportunity. So I'm going to call out for testimony. Are there any members of the public who would like to address the county commissioners on the topic of the new county fees? I'll call 2 more times. Are there any members of the public present who would like to address the county board, each of the county commissioners, on the topic of the new county fees? And a last call, any members of the public who would like to address the county board on the topic of these new county fees? Hearing none, I will close the public comment portion of the meeting, and I will turn the matter back to you, Commissioner Reinert, for consideration of the resolution that is attached.
Okay, thank you, County Attorney Brad Johnson. Now, to follow up on the public hearing and to actually take action on these increases, and I should mention too, increases do happen every once in a while. It's routine, as you know, we have cost of things going up, inflation, and so this isn't a surprise to be in front of us today. So we have to consider resolution number 2025-59 relating to fees and various county services, including fees related to permits and licenses and sales of materials to the public and other governmental agencies. And I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I believe it's a resolution, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
So you can just offer it.
Offer it.
Great, so I'll offer to adopt this resolution, and all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And that motion carries. Thank you. Next, we'll move to item number 9, which is to consider resolution 2025-60. And this is approving Anoka County's 2025 through 2029 Consolidated Plan and 2025 Annual Action Plan for the Community Development Block Grant and Home Investment Partnership Programs, and authorizing submission of such grant requests to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. Do we have presentation on this?
Renee is here for comments, but for the most part, this has been processed through the HRA for the home and CDBG program, so would be prudent for adoption of the resolution by the board.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I'll offer resolution 2025-60.
Okay, so we do have a motion, and I guess I'd ask now if we have any questions. Comments, concerns? Okay. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And that motion carries.
Thank you.
Now we'll move to item number 10, and this is to consider approving contract number C00-11639, renewing the Anoka County property insurance from Chubb Group through Willis Towers Watson for a policy term June 1st, 2025 to June 1st, 2026 for a premium. Actually, we've got a new number then. To a new premium not to exceed $669,607, as recommended by the responsible commissioner for insurance.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, discussion. All right, hearing none? Oh,
I'm sorry, just a process question, Mr. Chair. So then do we have to say anything to change the number that's in our packet? Because it's incorrect with the
Yeah, it was
update?
part of the motion was
Okay.
said, so that'll be fine.
Okay, very good.
I updated it, so.
Oh, yeah, I know you did verbally. I just didn't know, like, if we had to change
Okay.
it. Okay.
You're good.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
I just want to recognize the fantastic work of staff also to negotiate a great contract with the insurer. Maybe you want to add more comments to that, but just want to make sure that that's recognized.
Yeah, and it should be. Staff works hard at keeping costs under control for Anoka County, and I'm not sure what the actual reduction was, but with a typical increase these days of about 5%, I think it was what reported at the meeting we were at prior to this one. There was actually a reduction in, what was it, the number? 15,000. Yeah, so we went from a typical possible increase of 5% to a decrease of 2.5%. Thank you for doing that. Good work. All right, so we have a motion on the floor, and this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
All right, that motion carries. Now we'll move to item number 11. This is committee appointments. We've got a couple items here. Consider approving the following as recommended by Human Services Committee of the Whole, appointing Jessica Torrey as Children's Mental Health Professional Representative to the Children's Mental Health Advisory and Coordination Council for a term ending May 31st, 2028. And then we have another item here to consider for informational purposes. Chair Gamash's appointment of Jay Nelson as Higher Education Representative to the Anoka County Workforce Development Board for a 2-year term ending May 31st, 2027, as recommended by the Human Services of the Whole Committee. Yes.
Sorry. I would like to move to approve appointing Jessica Torrey onto the Children's Mental Health Advisory and Coordination Council.
Okay, that's a motion, and we need a second on this one? Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that carries. And then we'll also entertain a motion on the second item.
That's informational, Mr. Chairman.
Information. All right, thank you. All right, well, I think that completes our...
We have the management
Additional
committee
agenda,
carry
Mr.
forward items.
Additional agenda?
Oh, that's right. It's always something.
Important one.
Yeah, it is.
Teresa's got it for you.
Corey's like, come on, I sat through this whole meeting.
One or both.
Okay, thank you. All right, we do have one additional item, and they're recommended to be forwarded to the county board for approval, and it's from the management committee of the whole. Commissioner Meisner, would you like to take these?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. As Chair Reinert said, we did meet this morning about this, but because these are employment contracts, it does move forward to today's meeting. But the first one is approving an employment agreement with Corey Cohan and appointing Corey as the Assistant Director in Community Corrections. This would be effective as of today, May 27th. You can see the details in the attached worksheet. I will just make a note that this is a brand new role for this department. And also overall in general, we are moving towards this as a best practice. The work of all these departments, there is a lot happening. So even on the day-to-day operations, it is a best practice to have this kind of structure and support with it. In addition to, it really helps with fleshing out succession planning, generally speaking. Corey, I know that you have the support of the full board. You've been a longstanding employee. So I'm very pleased to see that this was vetted and this was the best recommendation. The second employment agreement is with Kelly Wellman, and this is also appointing Kelly as the executive assistant, and this is to the sheriff. This would be effective May 31st, and this is happening because that position had a retirement. And so you can see the details with that as well. But I will go ahead and move both of these employment agreements, A and B.
Second.
Okay, so we've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Heinrich,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
All right, that does carry, and I think now we're complete. But
For one comment.
sure.
For your work session this afternoon, I received notification right before this meeting from Met Council that they will not be able to make it today. So we had planned on that being the primary focus of that. So I'll leave it to your druthers here. You could either, I can probably entertain you for about a half an hour of other stuff that we had planned, or we can reschedule that information to another time.
I don't know, I guess I'd recommend rescheduling since that's what we were going to talk about.
Okay?
Yeah.
So if you cancel the meeting, would be appropriate.
All right, so, you know, given that new information, we'll have a motion to cancel that meeting. I guess I'll make that.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, those opposed, and that motion cancels that meeting.
We'll reschedule that another time. Apparently, with what's going on down at the Capitol, they've been beckoned to the Capitol to be there at the exact same time. So I guess that's a good excuse.
Okay, good enough. And that completes our agenda for today, but you know, I've just got to mention one more thing. Yesterday was Memorial Day, and I'm sure all of us over the weekend and yesterday attended various ceremonies to, I guess, you know, memorialize those who have fallen. A lot of times, you know, I hear people say, you know, Happy Memorial Days and things like this, and I just wanted to mention, you know, this is not a holiday that is happy. It is not a celebration. It is not for all service members. It is for those that did not come home. And we had a very nice and heartfelt ceremony at Post 566 in Lionel Lakes yesterday, which is it always is. And I guess I want to also give special attention to those that did not come home and that are represented by the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. It's inscribed on that tomb, here rest in honored glory an American soldier known unto only God. And so it really hits my heart, you know, that day anyway, but, you know, for those that served and gave all that they had, and we don't even know who they are. Just special commemoration for those. That completes our board meeting for today, and we are adjourned.